These are the plaintiffs, Joanne Pino and Patrice Housset. They say they rented the defendant's driveway so they could park their car there, and everything was fine for about a year. When the defendant's daughter moved back in with her, they were told to remove the car immediately because she needed the spot. They paid for 2 months in advance. The defendant refuses to give them a refund, and doggone it, they want it back. So they're suing for the $150 they're owed. This is the defendant, Claire Kelly. She says the plaintiff stole water from her elderly mother, which caused her water bill to rise dramatically, used her garage as their own personal storage shed, and now they want her to return unused rental money? Ha! The plaintiffs are the ones who owe money, certainly not the other way around. She's accused of not being very neighborly. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,000 for storage fees and pain and suffering.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Joanne Pino and Patrice Housset.
Yes.
You are suing Thelma Kelly and Claire Kelly. You are Claire, right? And you have power of attorney over, is it your mom?
I do, yes.
Okay. For $150, representing rent for a parking space of November and December that you say you were not allowed to use. You are counterclaiming against them $3,000 in storage and pain and suffering because, according to you, they were taking advantage of your mom. All right, let me hear from you first. Go ahead.
In July of 2009, my boyfriend Patrice distributed his business cards, handyman business cards, through the neighborhood of Briarwood where we live. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, Mrs. Thelma called Patrice to ask him if he would, about his services, his handyman services. He went over to meet with her, and he did some plumbing, electric, floor in the kitchen, etc., and some other small jobs. At that time, he asked Mrs. Thelner if she had known anyone who might have a parking spot where we could park our car, a driveway.
How far did she live from where you live?
10-minute walk.
Okay.
And she said, yes, I do. I have a spot in the back of the house. And I went to see her the following day, and I spoke with her, and she agreed to $50 a month. And we started to park there, and I was very happy there.
Sure, because it's pretty cheap, right?
Well, I did have spots prior to that
Did you have spots cheaper than that?
They were the same. So that was acceptable. And Patrice did.
The reason I ask that is just because in your complaint you say it was a good deal for us. So it was not a good deal, it was just market price?
For me, it was the amount of money that I could afford.
Okay.
And I did say that to Mrs. Thelner as well.
All right, so you parked there for how many years?
And so 2009 up to 2012.
Okay. Can I ask you, how old is your mom?
She's 76. She was just diagnosed with lung cancer. She has to have 40 to 60% of her lung removed on the 10th. So, okay.
Hold on one second. Thank you very much, and I'm very sorry. I hope it all goes well.
Thank you. I do have proof of what parking is in my area.
Okay, go ahead.
And so Patrice continued to do some work there.
From 2009 to 2012, Patrice, you did work there?
Yes.
Give me a general idea of the kind of work that you did there.
Some plumbing, painting, and flooring.
Flooring? Okay.
Flooring, putting new kitchen floor.
All right, and then you would charge her and she would pay you.
Yes.
There was never any outstanding business on that. All right, now what is this about using the garage to put your tools?
Well, I was using the garage to put my ladder and my snowblower. That's what I have in the garage. The rest of the garage, inside the garage, it was his grandfather's. He used to be a contractor also. And they said, well,
so
his stuff.
You don't have any tools there? You just had a ladder and a blower?
It's just a blower and the ladders.
Okay, so everything else that's in there was not yours?
She asked me to remove it.
Oh, that wasn't my question. The question was not, has it been removed now that the daughter came into the home and is putting her rules in place? The question is, were you storing things in the garage? That was my question.
Well, it's just a ladder and the snowblower. That's what I have.
Okay, can you explain why in your complaint, Ms. Pino, you say Patrice would store some of his tools in her shed, but only a few that he used to perform work in and around her home? That's not a ladder and a snowblower.
No, it's a ladder and a snowblower.
Okay. Go on.
Then in October, Claire called to ask if we could remove the car, and she said to remove the car by December, and we agreed.
Okay.
And then came the hurricane, Sandy, and Claire gave me a call to say if I would remove the car by Wednesday of that week, October 30th. I said, okay. We're going to get the reimbursement for the $150, which she did say yes.
Okay,
she did
now because you had paid ahead?
We had paid ahead. We paid October, November, and December by cash.
So the bottom line is she has not returned your money.
So
did she ever have a conversation with you telling you why she wouldn't return your money?
So I go there on Wednesday, and she said, no, she slammed the door, and she said, and I will have surveillance around this house if you ever come around here again. I was like, whoa, okay.
Did you know why she was hostile towards you?
No.
Had she said anything to you?
No.
Let's find out. Okay, what's going on?
Okay, the way he ruined my mother's house in numerous ways, there was jobs that he was paid to do. He was paid to do brickwork that was never completed. My mother also had to buy things for the work to be completed that never was.
Wait, slow down.
Okay.
This is the brickwork pictures?
Yes.
When was that brickwork contract?
In 09.
Okay.
In 09. I didn't bring this to them. They brought this to me for $150.
I know.
In the beginning, they weren't paying $50.
When were these pictures taken?
When were they taken? Just 2 days, 3 days.
3 years after the work was done. Okay. And what am I to glean from this?
It's incomplete. The jobs were never completed.
Hey, this is brickwork. You're saying the bricks are missing?
To be completed.
Were you supposed to? Did you get paid to do this brickwork?
I never did this kind of work.
That's not your work?
No, because
Okay.
I don't do brickwork.
You don't do brickwork, so this is not something that she hired you to do.
That's right.
All right, go on.
My mother's very meek, and she needed help. My father had just passed away in 08. She found a handyman. She figured that this was somebody she needed to do maintenance on my house. We've been there 45 years. My house was built in the 1950s. It's a lot of upkeep. Right. So we were happy we found a handyman that was reliable.
Yes,
in the beginning, when she asked to park the car, it was $25 a month. My mother accepted that because she figured that if I'm going to have a handyman and I'm going to have help, I might as well, give him a big break on a parking space. 2 years later, I came back and I left a note and I said, $25 is ridiculous. I said, you have to pay at least $75 a month to stay here. Every time he removed snow from my driveway, he was paid. Every time he set foot on my driveway, he was paid.
Did the price go up to $75 at that point?
Because I looked at my mother. I said, do you know what people are paying?
Okay.
They're paying $200.
Question, you don't live there, right?
I do now.
Okay, I know.
She's sick.
But at the time, you did not?
At the time, no.
Were you in a different city?
No.
Okay. So you'd go there, you'd visit often?
My father had Parkinson's disease, and she was taking care of my father. So I would go and take care of her. It's kind of a chain of, of people taking care of each other.
Do you have siblings? Do you have siblings?
She's in Syracuse. On paper, I have a sister, yes.
Okay.
I have video of how he left my garage. Now, the garage situation. I came home I guess it was early 2010. I opened the garage. All my things are buried under his ladders. There was tarps, all our valuables were thrown aside and his things were thrown on top.
The plaintiffs rented the defendant's driveway so they could park their cars there, and it worked okay, but it's now all blown up. The plaintiffs say they prepaid and got stiff, and the defendant got all threatening on them. Let's listen.
What things did he have there besides a ladder and a blower?
6 ladders, a ladder system, electrical cords. He had a clipper. He had the snowblower. He actually moved my lawnmower so far back and put his things in front of the lawnmower that I went in to even mow my own lawn. I couldn't even get to the lawnmower.
Why were your ladders stored inside of the lady's garage?
Because I asked his mother if I can storage my ladder to this garage. She said yes.
For free? You got all that storage for free for how many years?
3 years.
And your mom says
She didn't know they were in there. They took advantage of my mother time and time again.
You're shocked that they're suing you over $150.
I'm appalled.
But you did tell them you'd return it to them because you did ask them to leave
But
early.
I have so much damage to my property. He already broke the wheelchair. My father, we had a wheelchair and we had his hospital bed that we were going to sell on eBay.
How did he break it?
It was, I mean, can you see that picture? That he just threw things.
Wait, is there a picture where I can see the wheelchair?
I do have video of me walking in the garage.
Okay,
and it's
Tell me about the water.
Okay, after she dented my garage, which she parks at a place that's over here. Her bumper matches this dent in my garage.
So does every other bumper. But.
I mean, it's an absolute mess. We paid him time and time again for each job he did. We needed the help.
We left it. He used to come in through that door, and he left everything. Just, this is a rug up there.
Okay, tell me about the water.
Well, my mother asked me. She said in 2011, the water bill was $93. She says it's been going up. Then it was $109. You know,
Let me see the bills.
I said, Mom. She says I'm alone in the house.
Yeah.
She says, I mean, really, there's no reason why our water bill should be that high. And then when she came home from the hospital, she said, somebody's in the backyard. I go outside. There's Joanne holding the hose.
This is when.
October.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you go back there and what? You see Joanne holding the
she's
hose?
washing her car. She says, I do it because of the birds. I said, well, this parking space is like,
you were using her water to wash your car?
I did use the hose to get the poop off the front window because the hose was right there. So
the whole car was wet.
I did watch it.
That's a parking space. It's not your
I agree.
opportunity to
I
use
agree,
the water.
but it was there.
How long had you been doing that?
Not often at all.
Just when they caught me.
No, because
Apparently the birds just got there.
no, but Patrice would water the lawn. Patrice put in a new lawn, and he would water the lawn all summer
He didn't
long.
put in a new lawn. I don't have a front lawn.
I do have a front lawn.
Do you understand that I didn't bring this to them?
I know.
All this damage,
I know, but
all
when
these
you
things
bring
they
me
did
a
to this.
countersuit, I have to address
I
the
understand.
countersuit.
I just, you know what?
Because listen,
I know.
I know you so much better than you think I do. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Why is it that neighbors fight so much?
It's their own space, and they feel like people are invading their space.
A man's home is his castle.
Absolutely.
Got your point?
And people just are people.
But they're not. See, that's the thing. They're not just people. It seems like neighbors fight more than your average bear.
I agree with her. It's territorial. It's your space, it's your domain, and when they're very close to you and they encroach on that domain, it might be an issue for you. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I know exactly what you are going through. I helped to take care of my parents, and it is really hard because you love them and they were good parents. And when you are growing up, the last thing you don't think about it. You don't think about it that the day's going to come when the roles are going to be reversed. And after all that they took care of you, to watch them have a slow death like your father's, that is painful, because my very close friend's mother just died of Parkinson's, and I know how painful that was. And then to feel as though your mother's helpless. There are many things that are going on in your head right now. And so you have these feelings. I know, honey, I know.
Thank you, Judge.
I know. And you're a good person, and there's a spot in heaven for you.
And I didn't even bring this to them,
I know,
and they
sweetheart,
want something so frivolous,
I know.
so meaningless. $150, and all I'm faced with is every time I look at the pole, when he ripped off that ivy off the front pole,
Right.
my father planted it 25 years ago.
I know, honey. I want you to
Okay.
listen to me now.
I understand.
The spot we're in is this.
Right.
I cannot create a contract where there
Right.
was none. And I
Right.
cannot, without your mother here,
Right.
to profess that she, never gave them permission for this, or she never gave them permission for that. It's very hard for me to turn around and say, all right, well, we're even. I feel what you feel. On the one hand, you know, I think that they were very happy to find somebody who they could get steady business from and a parking space at a very cheap rate, okay? But I feel also that there was something that they were providing to her, you know, because in those moments where you're busy earning a living, he was fixing the little things that otherwise you'd be standing there getting 3 estimates and watching somebody work, which is not a reasonable request from you in your life. Right. So there was this symbiotic relationship. You walk in, you feel it's not so symbiotic. It's a little heavy-handed on one side, and you end it, and that's fine, okay? But if they've paid for 2 months of parking and they didn't get it, you have to return that money. Okay. Sometimes in this life, people like you and I make our own lives harder.
I know. I did.
I know.
I did.
Right? It would be so much easier to say, poo, and hand out that 150 and move it along. But I'm glad we met.
Thank you. I'm glad I met you too.
Put your hand down on your counterclaim 0 and on the...
I love strong women. I think you are an amazing, amazing individual. I really do.
Right back at you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care of that, Mom. Okay. Verdicts for the plaintiffs in the amount of $150. And as for the counterclaim 0. Good luck,
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
And with that, the defendant comes out into the hallway. How are you feeling?
Fine.
You went through every emotion in the book in there.
Know.
Right?
My mother deserves, you know, I'm sorry, she doesn't deserve to be taken advantage of. So,
well, the judge felt for you and understands.
I know.
Was it enough to come in here and fight this in court? Even though you lost the case, was it enough to come in here and fight it this way? You satisfied?
Yeah, when people have to do the right thing, I always do the right thing. I think more people should.
All right, head right around the corner right this way. All right, so step on in here. How are you feeling about the outcome here?
I feel good about it. I just wish that the mother was here so she could say how much she really, really appreciated Patrice's work. They had an extremely good relationship. And the mother always said, I'm going to adopt you, Patrice.
Well, it seems like the mother didn't really know about the price of parking spaces and stuff like that. Do you feel like you took advantage of her a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I took any advantage because she asked me to actually hold the land. And if she was actually concerned for this water, I would have helped her to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, you know, at some point you'd need to do a self-check and decide, are you the one who's not being reasonable and stupidly standing on principle? That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.